Yiggity, and we are back. Listen, man, we still out here looking for justice for Nolan Wells. So-called knew somebody that popped up on Nancy Grace talking about they got new evidence, this, that, and the third. So, I'm Jay Live. I scour the internet so you don't have to. So I brought it right to your front door. We just gonna get right on into it.
Grace, this is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. Nolan is dead.
Could it be a decompositional change? Could it be something else like blunt force injury? It's hard to say at this point in time.
I find it very difficult to believe, Dr. Kendall Krause, that not one, but two medical examiners cannot figure out why he had deep red subcutaneous markings. Joining us tonight, an all-star panel, but first straight to a special guest, Josh Gill with
Trina,
the
what
Cajun
up?
Navy, who, as you know, searched for Nolan's body. Josh, thank you for being with us. The day unfolded when Nolan's body was found very bizarrely. You were there. I'm going to get to your trip to the coroner's office along with the family, but I want you to start at the beginning. What happened at the beginning of that day? We believe that Nolan likely died on July the 4th. Let's start with the day that Nolan's body was found and that you ended up at the coroner's office. Start at the beginning.
So early that
Jack,
morning, I deployed
what's
some
up?
resources. I deployed an aircraft, fixed-wing aircraft that wheels up at 0635, as you can see right there from the photographs. I was on my way to the Lake Morris boat launch. That's where the Tactical Operations Center was set up. And I received a phone call. Received that phone call from the sheriff's department that a body had been found. Didn't say who it was. I was probably 15 minutes out from the location. I then received a phone call within minutes after the conversation from the sheriff's office from Nolan's mother, Christine.
Let's hope she is serious.
Again, that mother's intuition, she knew what was going on. So I'm meeting at the boat launch. I was there about 15 minutes ahead of time.
Hold on just one moment. Hold on. For those of you just joining us, Josh Gill is with us. He is the United Cajun Navy Incident Commander in the search for Nolan Wells. You stated that you received a phone call from Nolan's mother, Christine. You said she was frantic. What was she saying?
So again, I'm going to paraphrase. She said that they had found him, that they had found a body. My biggest concern at that exact moment was to make sure that she was safe, that she had, a safe way to get there.
A metro area attorney is now
part of more than likely to be the worst day of her life. Again, so continuing
Hold on. Josh, you got me drinking from the fire hydrant here. Every word you're saying sparks 100 questions. So Nolan Wells' mother calls you. Okay, where was she when she called?
She was en route to the boat launch as well. We were meeting there for the search.
Okay, had she been told that a body had been found?
Of Nolan Wells.
Yeah, when she called me, so we had earlier communication, but when she, via text, when she called me, she told me that a body had been found. She had been notified by the sheriff's department.
Oh, gosh.
Deeper. Guess who he was kin to.
No wonder she was frantic. So she calls you. She's just been told by the sheriff a body has been found. She calls you. You're going to the boat launch. What boat launch? Where?
That's the
I
Lake
want to
Morris
make
boat
some
launch.
comments about
Why there?
the Nolan and a couple of things.
So that's where the operation was set up. That's where the search operations, the Tactical Operations Center was there. They had a mobile command unit, and the multiple entities and agencies were basing their operations out of there. So what it is boat launch again. They can launch rather quickly. It's a protected area to launch and then make that run to Horn Island and the surrounding areas.
Okay.
Mama getting ready to get some money.
So you agreed with her. Did she ask you to meet at the boat launch?
She knew I was going to that boat launch, and she actually asked me early that morning, where we were going to meet. And I told her, here's the best place. Here's where the operation is beginning.
Okay.
It was a secured location by the sheriff's department, so that's where they were running their operation. And that's a common practice.
Question: do you know why Nolan's mother wanted you to go with her to Horn Island?
So we had communication. She called me, literally called me. We had a voice conversation that Sunday morning. About 7 o'clock, 7:30, she had called and asked for some assistance. After that phone call, I asked to memorialize all of our conversations so I could go back and look at information. And that's not uncommon for families to call us.
What kind of assistance did she need?
Find my son. There it is.
So she asked you to help find her son. That assistance. Okay, got it. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, so she asked for that assistance, find my son, find Nolan. Started gathering information on who he was with, where he was. She made it very clear that he was with some friends, that they had been on Horn Island. So then I start launching resources immediately. And then
Okay,
after I
hold on
launched
right there.
resources,
Hold on. Josh, what specifically did she say about him going to Horn Island with friends, if you can recall?
So she said that he went to Horn Island with friends. It's July 4th, and Horn Island's a location that's well known and well visited by people partying and being out for July 4th. It's a huge boating community, and that was the location where folks congregate and enjoy the 4th.
Okay, so she says he went to Horn Island on the 4th with friends. Got it, okay. So you meet at the boat ramp, and when you first saw her, what was her demeanor?
So she came to me. She gets out of the vehicle, comes to me, gives me a big hug. Again, it's a mother who her intuition is that her body is found. So obviously sad.
According to what we learned, the moment she gets out of the vehicle, she runs straight to you and is hyperventilating.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She came straight to
What
me.
happened?
I mean, 20 people. She gives me a big hug and starts crying. And look, I'm a softie. I started crying with her. We literally sat in the parking lot on the ground in the gravel for probably 15 minutes. And we had some pretty deep discussions. She cried. I cried with her. And her husband was there as well. And I want to say this, that he's a very stoic individual. And he stood there with his hand on both of our shoulders and was a part of everything. It was one of those moments you don't forget.
What was she saying? What was she saying? I mean, in a moment like that, how do you console a mother, Josh, that has been told by this disembodied voice on the phone, we found a body? I mean, what was she saying? Did she not want to believe it was Nolan? Did she believe it was Nolan? At this point, she had not ID'd a body yet. Nobody had identified that this was Nolan. Was she holding out hope? What was going on?
She knew. Again, mother's intuition is strong, very strong. In her heart, she knew. As far as what she was saying, why is always the question, you know? She asked God, why? And the rest of the conversations were just, memories real quick. And I'm assuming everything was just flashing in front of her eyes because, again, it's the beginning of the hardest time of her life.
Money Mike.
I always said just to console her and to help anyone I possibly could.
What was the dad saying, if anything?
He was, again, he was really quiet. He was a quiet gentleman, but his physical presence afforded her, made her feel safe. And I will say that, he stood there with us, on the ground. He's there. And his presence said a lot. And it meant a lot to his wife, to Miss Christine. And again, it's a tough time for him as well.
So she's crying. You state that she knows deep inside that that body is her boy, her son. You start crying. Did you remain standing in the parking lot or did you sit down?
No, man, like I said, when she first came to me, she gave me a big hug and I wrapped my arms around her and we sat down. We sat very quickly. We remained seated for quite some time to have that discussion, say a prayer. I did pray with her. Right there. Yes, ma'am. On the ground, in the gravel.
Y'all were sitting
right
on the... And you said she was hyperventilating. You sit on the ground. I believe I heard you say that you started praying.
Always. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Was she praying that it wasn't Nolan?
So, and again, I'm paraphrasing and going from the best of my memory. It was more of a prayer for peace and comfort is what I did. And I always ask for that. And then for answers, and I prayed Godspeed if it is Nolan and, for the Lord to put his protecting hands over us and everything that we do and to be with this family and this mother, especially during these hard times. It's an emotional time.
I cannot even imagine. I'm trying to get my head around the picture of you and Miss Christine sitting on the ground in a parking lot with her crying after just been told we found a body and she knows it's Nolan.
Sure.
I thank God that you were there. I thank God that you and Nolan's dad were there to help her. I don't know how she even stood up. How did
That's a good question.
So it was about 15 minutes we were there on the ground and a couple times the sheriff came up and he saw what was going on and the sheriff's staff and they understood that it was one of those moments where we need some space. She finally, and I hate to say she called her composure because it was an emotional time for me as well as the father, and it's, we stood up and the sheriff came over and, he started discussing what the process would be. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
know how
Naya
she
Mac
even
up
stood
in
up.
here.
Okay,
grace
so
of
you help
God.
her up off the ground. Yeah. Okay, then what happens?
So a family and friends started to arrive, and the security let them in, and the sheriff came up, and the sheriff again, he had to help deliver that news, that a body was found and do his formal, and I hate to say notification because at this point he didn't say if it was Nolan or not, but he explained that a body was found and where they would be bringing that body to. And from there, the family gathered, and it was, I'd say, a
Straight
matter of
up.
15, 20 minutes maybe. We were then escorted. Christine asked me to accompany them to the coroner's office, which I was extremely honored to do so. And then the sheriff's department escorted us to that coroner's office.
Can I ask you something, Josh? When the sheriff came over, was it the sheriff or a deputy sheriff?
This is the sheriff.
The sheriff. He comes over
Yes, ma'am.
and formally tells her, well, she was already told on the phone, a body has been found. Had the body already been taken to the coroner's office?
It was en route. So he's en route to the coroner's office, and he told us, he told Christine, here's what's going on. Here's where you need to go for further information. And again, extremely professional, extremely polite, and the biggest word I can use was he was compassionate. His staff was extremely compassionate. I can't take that
How
away
was
from him.
she at that moment? Was she just numb? Did she ask questions, or did she just stand there and take it? What was her response to the sheriff coming over face to face telling her we found a body? Because a lot of times, this from all of the bodies that you have helped recover. Guys, joining me is Josh Gill. He's a special guest tonight with the United Cajun Navy. He's the incident commander, and he was in on the search for Nolan from the beginning, and he went to the coroner's office along with the family, along with the mother and the father. So when the sheriff was, I guess, formally delivering this to her, a lot of people when they hear it on the phone, they
Definitely
don't want to believe it.
jealous.
I didn't. When it happened to me, I thought, did I get that wrong? So he comes up and tells her to her face, and there's no way to mistake what he's saying. He's right there in front of her. How did Miss Christine respond?
Just as any parent would respond. Tears, shock, disbelief, I think are some good words. But again, I don't want to take away from the compassion and the professionalism of the sheriff's department at that point. And there were more people coming up, right? And at that point, the sheriff had conversation with the mother again and the family, and just explained the process on what was going to happen next as far as where Nolan was going, and then moving from there. But I do want to add that during these conversations, I reiterated to the mother and Mr. Elmore that Nolan will be treated with the utmost dignity and respect through the process. I wanted
Damn
to
right
explain
they
that
be
because
behind
that's something
bars
that
right
parents
away.
always need to hear. Family members that their loved one will be treated with dignity and respect.
So you guys make it to the coroner's office. What happens when you get to the coroner's office and Nolan's body is already there?
Correct. So we go to the coroner's office, we sit down. The coroner, he comes in, rather quickly, 10, 15 seconds once the table was filled with all the people, family members, friends, myself.
What table? Were you in a conference room?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. A conference
Oh
room
gosh,
table.
at the medical examiners or coroners, everything is so sterile. And everyone I've ever been to.
So this was like an office conference room. You walk right in the door and there it was. Didn't really have that feeling of a coroner's office, if that's fair to say. More like a business office conference room. He walks in, very polite gentleman, very professional, well-spoken, soft-spoken as well. And basically said that they found a body, and from initial appearance, he identified him as Nolan. He did want to take a DNA swab or get a DNA sample from the family just for further confirmation and for, I guess, record keeping, whatever it was. But then he also, she asked about the condition, and he went into there were no immediate signs of foul play. Okay. To me, again, my opinion in hearing this is, no signs of blunt force trauma or any, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, any, signs of foul play, what we would consider that.
Well, I guess they hadn't seen that big red mark on the back of his occipital yet, underneath the skin. And I take it at this juncture, Josh, his throat had not been dissected to look for potential subcutaneous bruising. So
Sure.
You're telling me that from a cursory look at Nolan Wells's body, there was no sign of foul play, such as a stab wound or a bullet wound or bruises, deep gouges on the head. That, in my experience, having tried so many homicide cases, I cannot count them, is what you get from a cursory look at a body. Would you agree?
So, correct. I'm not a medical examiner nor a coroner. I have gathered information and heard multiple people speak on that, especially about the red spot, right? We'll quote unquote call it the red spot. And as I appreciate that may be pooling or whatever, it could possibly be cellular decomposition. Again, I'm not a medical examiner or a coroner, but I do know what the coroner said at that first meeting with him.
Let's get back to what happened in that conference room. So you're there, the mom's there, the dad's there. The coroner comes in, very calm, very soft-spoken, and tells Miss Christine that he believes it's Nolan based on physical appearance and description. Is that correct?
Much love. I feel you.
Yes, ma'am.
What was her reaction? Because if it were me,
Again,
I would have been holding out, it's not him, it's not him, it's somebody that looks like him. I don't believe it's him. He's out there. If I can just get out of here, I can go find him. What was her reaction?
again, it was quiet and it was a very emotional time for the family as well. I personally believe at that point she accepted that it was him.
Why do you say that? You must have observed something that makes you say that.
Again, it just actions, not denial, not beating on the table. It's not him. It's not him. Let's go. Let's keep looking. And her being in the medical profession as well as I believe a nurse practitioner. I think I will never say the word accept. She understood that what was being told to her. Right. Yeah. I'm not a parent.
Still crying?
I don't have. Absolutely. She still cries to this day. And look, so I want to make this very clear to everybody that I support Christine and what she's doing. There's not a playbook that's written for a grieving mother who doesn't know what happened to her son. And I truly hope and pray every day, as well as my organization does, that she finds peace and comfort and she's able to accept
And you know what else, Josh?
whatever the results are.
I don't know
Yes.
how this would have unfolded if it had not been for the United Cajun Navy. I'm just putting that out there. For some reason, y'all have gotten so much hate. But you guys were out there at the get-go. You're the one that went with Miss Christine to the coroner's office. You were there. You're the one that helped her stand up off the
Mike,
ground.
what
She
up?
was sitting on that pavement crying. That was you, United Cajun Navy.
Yes, ma'am.
I support her too, and my fondest dream is that we find out that this was an accident. But until we get to that point, this investigation must go on. So he comes in and tells her that. Then what happens?
So there were some questions, right? He asked the family if there was anything they needed to know. And I asked a question. And the question I asked was, can you please explain the process on where Nolan's going to go, what's going to happen from there? And he did. He explained that he would be going to the crime lab, I believe it was, on what was going on for further autopsy. Again, and I'm paraphrasing this. And we all understood it. We understood that what was going to happen, where it was going, and what would happen from there. Again, and I have to say this and reiterate this, that the family was in shock. I mean, it's horrible news to receive. I can't imagine it. I'm an empath, and I still can't possibly imagine how it feels to receive that information that your son is no longer, here with that family, no matter what the outcome is. Here's the issue, though, is that we have to be prepared to accept and understand what's told to us as far as results of, the grand jury or whatever it is. I want to make sure that people understand the prayers for peace and comfort are there daily for this family as well as the nation, because this is a hard time for the nation and Ocean Springs in particular.
What happened then? You asked about the procedure. Let me make
This is
sure I
called
understand
action.
this.
St.
The
Paul, Minnesota,
coroner identified
Minneapolis,
Nolan based on
Chicago, Illinois,
description.
Wisconsin. You guys
Because
are up.
I've
All right,
seen
guys, we
a
got to get this
photo,
man
which
baby off
we
the
have not
street. He's
shown,
very dangerous,
of
and
Nolan's
anybody can
body
be a
where it
victim.
washed up.
So on the
Well,
night of
I
February the
say
5th
washed
at
up.
around 6 p.m.,
That's really a term of art. I don't know that he washed up. I don't know how his body got right there, because it seems to me it was half in the sand and half in the water.
Another thing that's
Right?
interesting.
So I don't know how it got there. That said, he made this ID based on the description given to him of Nolan, but wasn't the actual ID made from dental records?
So I don't know what the actual ID was made from, if it was from dental records or if it was a DNA swab. He did discuss collecting DNA with the mother before we left. I did not
Were you
witness
there
that. I
when the
did not
DNA was
see it.
collected?
I was not. I don't know how they caught it, how they got it. But it was a discussion. But again, the coroner was confident. His confidence level was high that was Nolan. And I think that's what Miss Christine wanted to do, or wanted to understand. And the reason being, I think that there's that professional courtesy of, understanding he's the coroner, she is a nurse practitioner, and he wouldn't tell her those things if it was not his heart.
10 miles back home.
Attention homeowners.
Get in the water. He just
Hey,
how?
real quick though, don't y'all? Hey, sometimes don't y'all while we watching this though, don't y'all just be wanting to ask this question to people? Don't y'all just be wanting to be like,
how did Nolan Wells get in the water in the first place? How did Nolan Wells get in the water in the first place? His friend said, now bear with me for a minute. I'm sitting here watching The Lioness and it just went off, right? And it dawned on me. They said they left Nolan with Katie, right? Bear with me. Nolan and Katie, Ken. They hanging out. Katie said she left Nolan. He went back on the boat with his friends. Let's pause that for a minute. They all left. So Katie left Nolan. His friends left Nolan. How did Nolan's body get in the water in the first place? So Nolan left his phone with his friends and went back on land and went and hung out with Katie. And then Katie left him. And then Nolan did what? He jumped in the motherfucking ocean? Tried to swim 10 miles?
Right.
How did he get in the water in the first place, y'all? How did he get in the water? His friends left him.
how he get in the water? He swim 10 miles
on the island. That means the sand with Katie. How did Nolan get in the water? What would make Nolan get in the water? He was going to try to swim 10 miles back home? What made Nolan get in the water? He just drowned? How? What? How did he get in the water? That's my question. How did Nolan get
They can't explain that.
Water. Katie left him, his homeboys left him, and Nolan just jumped in the water and said, let me swim by myself with nobody watching, nobody seeing, nobody around. I'm just going to jump in the water. Let me guess, he tumbled into the water. He walked out to the sea. He tried to risk and swim. How did Nolan get in the water? How did Nolan get in the water in the first place? They left him on the island with Katie. Katie was hanging out with him on the island. How did he get in the water? How did Nolan get in the water? Help me understand that. How did he get in the water?
Straight up. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, it just, hey, come on with the come ons. Back to the regular scheduled program.
Let me understand as I move forward in the questioning of Josh Gill, Incident Commander at United Cajun Navy, with Miss Christine Nolan's mother at the time she was taken to the coroner's office. Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, very quickly, wasn't Nolan identified through dental records? That's a yes, no, please.
Yes, ma'am. He was identified with dental records.
To Jeff Gentry joining us. Jeff, thank you for waiting so patiently. Forensic certified bloodstain pattern analyst, crime scene analyst, death investigator, author of Forensic Science. Jeff, why did they have to use dental records to identify Nolan Wells' body?
Nancy, usually dental records are used when other forms of identification cannot be utilized. So the first thing that we always try to do is to visually identify somebody. And if you have family there or friends or an ID, something to reference to visually identify the person, then that is the first step. So just getting a general idea of who they are. Then you want to move to a scientific form of identification. And that is something based on a scientific discipline. So there is proof that it is the person when it goes to court or additional questions are asked later. Your first form of scientific identification is fingerprints. That's always going to be the easiest and fastest. And if he had an ID or a driver's license, then there should be a fingerprint on file to be able to identify this person rather quickly. However, in this case, if he had been deceased for a day or two before he was found, then forms of scientific identification like fingerprints or even like a visual identification may not necessarily be available. So in those scenarios, then you move to alternate forms of identification like dental records. So you have to get the person's dental records from when they were alive to compare them against dental records taken when they're deceased at the autopsy. The last form of identification that's used, which is the most expensive and most time consuming, would be DNA. However, if you're going to take this case to court and it's going to be tried like a homicide, then you would probably want to use a form of identification like DNA because it's much more solid. You can verify with percentages how likely it is that the person is who you believe they are. So that's why dental records were most likely used in this case versus something simple and fast like fingerprints or visual identification.
Judge Gentry can be found at evidenceoverassumption.com. Jeff, my takeaway from what you just said is they could not make a visual identification and they could not use fingerprints. You said those were the first two choices, then dental, then DNA. Why would they not be able to make a visual ID?
I'm assuming because he was outside and in the elements for a day or so. It's hot, it's July, it's very warm weather. However, in most
I agree,
cases where I've
powerful
seen
black.
drownings where the person is underwater for a period of time, their body is pretty well preserved, unless we're talking about like multiple days, weeks that this person is underwater. Usually the water is cooler temperature, and if that person is face down in the water or completely submerged, their body is pretty well preserved until they surface. Usually a body after a couple of days surfaces. So I'm really surprised that he was on the shore. I've never personally investigated a drowning case where a person just ends up on the shore, especially if there's not a strong current or waves. Usually in bodies of water, the person will stay in pretty much the location where they go underwater. If it's have submerged or gone underwater. So to me, it's very concerning that he was on the shore, or that his body surfaced that quickly.
Oh,
But
good
that's
looking
what I
out,
am guessing is
Godzilla.
why they couldn't do an immediate visual identification with the family or even fingerprints. So I would really like to know more about the condition of the body. That's what I am assessing as a death investigator when I respond to a scene. So there should be a death investigation report from a death investigator who has experience looking at bodies and has experience examining these type of things to show exactly what his condition was when he was found. And if the body is decomposed more than what you would normally expect in a drowning case, that should be a big red flag. That's something that you definitely need to look into further.
So you're saying, let me follow up on what you just said. You find it odd that he was quasi on the shore. You also stated that location where the body is found is typically where they went under. You also said that the body must have been too decomposed to make a facial ID. I did not hear an explanation as to why fingerprint ID was impossible.
Fingerprint identification would be impossible if the hands were dried out to an extent where they can't be fingerprinted. Sometimes people that are underwater, or if the hands are underwater, the skin, just like if you're in the bathtub for a long period of time, the skin ends up looking the same way. It just gets kind of wrinkled, and it's very hard to get a usable or workable fingerprint in those scenarios. So one scenario would be the body is too decomposed to get a fingerprint or a visual identification. And then the alternate scenario is the body or hands were exposed to the water too long to where they just are not able to get a good workable print. So those are the different possibilities. But again, his position at the edge of the bank or partially in the water, that's really concerning because there's tons of people around that area. If he was in that position or on the shore decomposing for a day or so, why did nobody see him? Those would be my type of questions that I would ask if I were a death investigator responding to this scene.
Jeff, I'm looking right now at the photo of his body, and it's about, the beach is flat, and I would say it's about 3 to 4 feet from where there's nothing but sand, no water. It looks like it's just as the water is starting. Like you could walk in it very easily, and your ankles may not even get wet. He's not out in the water at all. He's on the beach and on wet sand. That's the way to put it. It's wet sand. He's not out in the water, Jeff Gentry. What does that mean, if anything?
That's really abnormal. I would have a ton of questions in that case. I would wonder if there's no waves, no strong current, why is that body up on a shore? How did it get there? And just like when we're looking at blood evidence or other forms of evidence, if something is in a
super quiet
scene, you have to question how it got there. I've investigated a lot of deaths, bodies in canals, rivers, lakes, large bodies of water, never really near the ocean to where you would expect somebody to wash up to shore. But in these cases, even though there's strong current, waves, large bodies of water, I've never really seen bodies up on a shore, especially up out of the water enough to where they could decompose significantly to where they can't be identified or can't be fingerprinted. So that would be a very big question that I would have in this case is, with the absence of waves, with the absence of a strong current, how in the world did this 19-year-old man end up on shore out of the water?
Josh, I'm going to pick back up with you and Nolan's family at the coroner's office, but you disagree with Jeff's characteristic. Explain.
Wind,
They definitely
currents.
did it.
If you look, there's also there's some pictures, some aerial pictures that show driftwood way on the beach. Those 4 things are what impacted, as I appreciate, where Nolan ultimately ended up. If you look in one of those pictures, man, a wave is about to come right over and crest right near where the body's at. So that shows that there is some wave actions and some currents. The winds, the waves, the tides, the currents have a huge impact on anything.
Yeah, but not to push push no body up that way.
A high tide, high current area. So that was the first things that I looked at whenever I saw that picture, and that is one of those pictures that I showed to the sheriff immediately as I received it. The stuff that's dark in that picture right there, I believe that's debris, and that debris could have easily or was washed up on that island. And if you look at the picture as well into the water, the white is that's wave action, either from wind, tides, or currents. So it is going towards the beach. When you walk down the beach and you find shells and you find the bottle with a message in it, it gets washed up on the beach.
Okay, so I think in simple terms, you're saying you believe the body was washed up from the water to that location. Okay, and Gentry is saying typically a body is found where it goes in the water. So you're right. Tidal experts, water experts will have to determine that. I want to get back to you at the coroner's office. A dental exam was used to make the ID, which leads me to another question. If his face and his fingertips were so decomposed that they can't make an ID, then how do they know there was not bruising or there was not skin marks on his face, on his hands? That's a whole other thing. You're not a medical examiner. I get it. But that's a question that needs to be answered back to you. The family, Miss Christine, the dad, were asked to provide DNA. Okay. You did not see the DNA taken, probably a buccal swab. What happened then?
So if I may add one thing, is I think that'd be a great question to ask the coroner is, how did he identify? Because he was pretty sure, in his best professional opinion, that was Nolan. And maybe he wanted the dental records just out of professionalism. And hey, isn't that one of the most definite ways to identify? So, and out of courtesy to the family, let's do it the easy way for you as well as to get the dental records. So, moving forward, man, we left. We went to the house. There was a gathering at the house, and the people started to pour in, and it was a very emotional time. Again, the family, the friends and family that were there they were extremely welcoming to myself. Todd Terrell also came he came within 30 minutes. We stayed there for about 30 minutes. We had conversation with the mother, Mr. Elmore, and some of the other family members, and discussed a couple things with them. GoFundMe being one of them, and we wanted to assist with that as far as the development and helping to spread the word on that piece, as well as offer our services. Anything that we could possibly do to assist this family in this time of grief, we're there for them. Still there today. Anything that they possibly need, we're here to provide. If it's a shoulder to cry on, we're there. If she wants to get in an airplane, or if she wants to get in a boat and go back out to Horn Island, we're there. We got it for her. She's been offered those services. We just want her to know and the family to know that we're there. We're 110% supportive because, again, there's no playbook on how to grieve the loss of a child.
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here. Every day,
hold on.
Keep
My bad.
climbing higher and higher, and high credit card interest is not making life any easier. If you are a homeowner, your home equity.
Yes, ma'am.
What was her reaction?
Oh,
Because if it was the DNA taken, probably
easily. How did he Mr. Elmore with a message in it?
When you were borrowers save an average of $800 a month. There are zero financing.net. Was Josh, at that time when you were at Nolan's home after leaving the coroner's office with the family, was there any concern that there had been foul play?
It really didn't come up. It just didn't come up. I think that whole grieving process, and it hit her hard when they got back to the house. At what point did potential foul play or the thoughts of foul play or the accusations come into mind? I don't know.
I think you're probably right that at that time she walks in, Josh, and she comes into a home where she knows her son will never be back in his room ever again. And when you see all the relatives and neighbors come in, it gets real. It's
Foxy in the house.
And the pictures of Nolan are still out. I mean, all the family photos are there, and I don't know when it hits you that's all you have going forward. That's it. Photos and memories.
Thanks, Miss Diva. I fixed it.
So, ma'am, if I can say one thing.
Please do.
I hear the emotion in your voice, right? I can hear it in your voice, and that's a sympathetic emotion for that mother, knowing that she has, at that point when she walked through that door, it became real, and it became the hardest day, the beginning of the hardest time of her life. Again, I pray every day for the peace and comfort. But ma'am, seeing that coming from you, and understanding the emotion behind it and what this lady's going through and what this family's going through and what the community's going through, it's very important. It's important to know that there's a lot of people that are extremely upset, and they lost a community member who was loved and cherished. So, it's a tough time for everybody.
Josh, did you speak with Nolan's mother again after that day?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We've had numerous conversations, and a lot. So we had conversation about a forensic pathologist, a secondary forensic pathologist. She wanted one. I gave her a recommendation that I got from somebody. She also discussed an attorney. She sent those messages as well. But the majority of our conversations, man, to be honest with you, were I'd send something to her, keep your chin up and your chest out and just know that you've got a lot of people that love and support you. I wanted to give her words of encouragement because I know how important that is to a family, but also let her know that if there's any questions that she has, that I could possibly take some of that weight off of her shoulders or off of her family's shoulders to help assist, that I'll do it for her. And we're here for her.
Did she have questions?
It's not really, because she got an attorney rather quickly, which is fine, whatever, that's on them.
Yeah, because he
But again,
definitely
the
looking at the
conversation
camera.
turned into, very cordial. Thank you. Thanks for the prayers. Now, we did have a conversation at one point, ma'am, about another young man that I was looking for, Jadarius Manyweather, and I brought her up to speed on that case. And she said, and she told me explicitly, please give the prayers, our prayers to the family of Jadarius, which that was very important as well, because as a grieving mother, she wanted to express her concern and her prayers to another family who lost a young.
And that's
young
real.
child.
Joining us tonight, special guest, Cajun Navy Incident Commander Josh Gill. If you know or think you know anything about the death of this young man, Nolan Wells, dial 228-769-3063. There's a $125,000 reward for information regarding what happened on Horn Island. We remember American hero.
Okay. There we go. I know she was going to go into that. But you know what, man? This is a culmination of things. And I think sis just hit it on the head, you know what I'm saying, with the way we feeling right now.
If it's not one thing, it's another. White people are punishing black people by way of spitting in their food at Texas Roadhouse and Logan's, and I'm sure there are other restaurants, because of Nolan Wells. So because your kids killed one of our children, and we recognize that that's what's going on, and we're asking questions, you're punishing us by spitting in our food.
That makes a lot of sense.
Egregious. But that is very white behavior. Like these niggas is nasty.
I'm talking about, we just over here talking about justice and stuff, and we got to worry about spitting the food and all of this whole extra this, that, and the other crap. Hey, one thing I did see, though, I don't know if y'all seen it, but the Brews showed up. I always got to give shout out to the Brews, man. The Brews went on a march, man, to let these folks know that they not alone. I like.
My father, there when I left. You're right. Mother was there when I left. You're right. Uncle, there when I left. You're right. My cousin was there when I left. You're right. Brother, there when I left. You're right. Sister was there when I left.
You're right.
Now keep your step. Now keep your step. Ain't lying to the right. Ain't lying to the right. Cover down two. Cover down two. To the man in the front. To the man in the front. Son of God!
Yeah. I just like to see the Brews ride. I like to root for the underdogs. Everybody always. There's things that I don't agree with the Brews, and I'll just keep that to myself. But I like to see them ride. That's just what it is. Say what you want to say, but the Brews be riding. Now, look, sure. Sometimes we just got to know what's going on, and I like how Shorty broke it down about what's really going on out here in the streets.
I knew it was coming. I just didn't know what it would look like. Now I see it clearly. 2020 motherfucking vision started with them Asians and they hate drawing us away from their businesses. Now we finding ways to get it on our own. Now we finding ways to manufacture our own when it comes to the hair. Now we cooking our own Asian cuisines and putting a little soul food spin on it. You understand what I'm saying? And then here come the white folks. They can't be left out. They got to be the center of somebody's conversation at all times. 400K? 400K? Baby, if that ain't enough to make you stop eating at them fucking chain restaurants, to make you stop eating anywhere that ain't got people owning, working, cooking who look like you, I don't know what is. You know they the ringleaders. So if the white folk do it, then you know them, everything in between doing it too. You know this. It's going to be a lot of stragglers. Because there's always outliers in every community. It's not just only in the black community. It's not just black people. There are outliers and ignorant motherfuckers in every community. It's going to be some outliers, but I guarantee fucking dog to you all it's going to take is a couple hundred of them to get sick from these white dogs spitting in their food. You do understand you can get herpes from saliva transfer, correct? 1/3 of them, if not more, got herpes. So once a few hundred of y'all get sick who don't want to believe that this shit is real, who don't want to see color, who want to be one of the good ones, don't come crying to us, because the information is there. Now, black-owned restaurants. A lot of y'all got y'all shit together, but for the ones who don't, get it the fuck together. Yeah, this is a wealth transference. It is. We in that era, we in that time. But don't get it twisted. You got shitty customer service. You got horrible food. If the owners ain't shit, you will not be patronized. Get it the fuck together. Pay your staff properly so they do their jobs with joy. Give them courses in customer service so you're not running off patrons. Get your service times together. Stay in stock. Get you some proper management. That's all I got to say about that. Lie.
Okay, a little harsh with the messaging, but hey, you know what I'm saying? Nobody said we can't chastise and check our own. She wasn't, you know what I'm saying, too outlandish with it. She said what she had to say, and she scooted to do on. That was it. But OG say y'all need to stop. I see you over there, Naya Mac. By the way, that's my shorty, y'all, in the comments. Naya Mac, what's up, babe? I see you tapping into dad tonight. I feel it. This message is for y'all. I know it's fun and entertaining to give them that stress, but listen to this.
Black people, stop trying to get understanding out of people that are committed to misunderstanding you. That no matter what you say, that white people are committed to misunderstanding you, because to understand you is to understand that black people are gods. So why do people cheat? People cheat because they're afraid that they're going to lose. So this is why white people cheat black America. Pay you less, cheat on loans, because they're afraid that they're going to lose. And actually, white people are losing. If you look at all that they've stolen, all that they've taken, and all of the undermining, and you look at how far black people have come, white people are losing because they have not been able to stop us. Black people are nowhere near being conquered by white people because we overcome them every day, several times a day. Yes, my people, these people are afraid that they're going to lose. And if you really look at it and stop listening to their history, this is why they want you to keep on listening to their illusion. They're losing already, because they cannot stop you. This is why they are on the move. They have to move from place to place to place to place, because you are moving them, because you are on the move. You're winning, black people. Yes, stop trying to get understanding out of people that are committed to misunderstanding you. Because for them to understand you, they have to understand that you are gods. Black people, stop.
Yes. So, that's why y'all get the static that you get in the chat. They just dweebs and they mad and they scared because we over here talking like we talking and congregate like we congregate, doing what we do. But it's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? As long as they ain't super spam in the chat, I'll let them say their little goofy stuff because we got some very intelligent people that watch the broadcast, and none of the slick stuff that they get that they say is sliding. I see y'all over there giving them the work. But Shorty say she didn't crack the case. The case is solved. I was curious about this one, so let's check it out.
Okay, there is a video that may very well have cracked the Nolan Wells case. It is called Nolan Wells Case Cracked Online While Police Remain Silent. I believe that's the entire title of it. You can catch it on YouTube. I can't, it's 20-30 minutes long, so I cannot, really include it in this reel, but I want to encourage everyone to watch it. It could be maybe, perhaps, possibly the deciding factor as far as the internet goes, because as far as the state goes, there are no factors, but as far as the internet goes, so I would encourage all of you to go check it out. I am giving you this advice based on some other people who I heard about it from. I have not watched the entire video myself yet, but want to encourage you to go.
But I'm not a leader though. I'm just a nigga with an opinion. A very strong one. But the code is the leader, Chris. Remember that, fam. In Black empowerment, there is no leaders. That's old. That's played out. Leaders get killed. I'm just a nigga with an opinion that people like to listen to. And there you go. And I appreciate y'all for listening to me. Thank you so much, because I could be talking to myself. But that's what makes this broadcast so powerful, is that I disseminate the information and y'all signal boost it, you know what I'm saying, not only by contributing and to the height of the channel, but I would like that, these conversations take place outside of YouTube and in real life as well too. This is a congregating spot for us to get our Black empowerment on, and that's okay. That's right. That's right. Well, yeah, it's not a dim of the light. You know what I'm saying? It's just not, I'm not a leader of anything. I just, you know what I'm saying? I might lead in disseminating information very good, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? I try hard. I consume content as well from other creators and things that people that I respect in the movement to make sure I'm getting it right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not above reproach. You know what I'm saying? I'm not always right. And I would get apologized if I'm wrong. But for the most part, yeah, man, I'm just and okay, and I get what you're saying. My light, I'm a king with an opinion. There we go. That's better language. That's right. I got you, Miss Diva. That's better language. I'm a king with an opinion. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Moving right along. Now, there's a couple different things going on with this Nolan case as well, which I'm gonna get to in a hot minute. But just like the thumbnail said, there was some updates on the Karmelo side of the game as well. And when we talking about just giving a reminder, you know what I'm saying? Here, matter of fact, I crack it off like this. Oh no, I forgot. That's a different joint. I'll crack it off like this because there was a few updates on the Carmelo Anthony side. Not a lot of bits moving and shaking, but I still want to make sure I touched on it so we know what's going on with the trial, because I got a responsibility to my people, so we still know what's going on. And Willie D kind of summed that up real good with the two lawyers right there to kind of get to the point of what we need to be talking about.
After everything we now know that the jury didn't know, are you confident that the original jury got the complete picture? I can tell you right now, I am emphatically offering a no. I do not believe that the jury got the complete picture. And I'll tell you this also. I'm not sure, even if they got the complete picture, that they
real quick. White empowerment is cool. On your own motherfucking channel, go do that shit over there. This is black empowerment over here. White empowerment is great. Just go white empowerment your ass over there, because this is black empowerment. Now, if you want to participate in the black empowerment, fine. But this ain't that space. This is a B1 black empowerment space. I think sometimes some people forget what the mission is. Let me show you.
And I personally hope that my people get this message as fast as they can so that we can move toward freedom and independence and be extricated and removed from white rule and domination.
You see that? You see the P is for the people? You see that? You see B1 in the circle around the P, the people? Yes, that's fine. But that's what we do over here. Okay. All right.
Would have found Carmelo Anthony not guilty because, as I said before, they're not concerned. These people are not concerned about the truth. They're not concerned about justice.
They're not.
When it's black and white, especially, man, these people are concerned about getting what they want. That's it. They don't care nothing about no right and wrong. They don't care nothing about justice. The damn DA office, the district attorney's office, was under investigation for discrimination and sexual assault. They just, back in October of last year, they just settled out of court. These people don't care nothing about justice. The people that's supposed to be administering justice are under investigation. I hear it's the law is, but it's not respected. They don't respect the law. All they do is use the law to their benefit and figure out some kind of way they can use the law to their benefit and to your detriment. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
And that's my story. And like Jack and Dennis, I'm sticking to it.
That's right, because I'm over there in the comments battling with these folks. He's guilty. Whoa. Yeah, he's guilty because y'all say he is. That don't mean he's actually really guilty. He was defending himself, and just because of the way y'all got it set up, he doing 35. But if we was running it, it'd be just and fair. You have to do a little time, but he wouldn't be in there for the 35, unlike the white boy who did the same thing in school and stabbed up his schoolmate, and he only got 10 years. Invited his schoolmate to a fight in the bathroom the day before, premeditated, brought the knife, stabbed him up. Not people jumping him, not none of that. Just stabbed him up. 10 years. Texas. Same thing. The same exact thing. Huh? I'm just waiting. I mean, if he poked him, he poked him. Okay. What happened to manslaughter? What happened to all the stuff? Man, we sit up here and watch crime after crime at night about how y'all get off with everything. So I don't even want to hear it. The boy, he should have got off just like that white girl that just killed her black boyfriend, the social media star lady that killed her black boyfriend. He was a tether, by the way, who was talking real greasy about black women, but she only did 6 years. She did 6 years. She spent 4 in there while the trial's coming out, and she finna be coming home in less than 18 months. 6 years for theft, but Karmelo get 35. Yeah, right. See how the difference is when the color's different? The white girl killed the black boyfriend, 6 years. Karmelo try to get himself out of a tight situation and not get beat and pummel on, 35. Come on now. Come on now. Y'all gotta make it real though. You gotta make it even. If it ain't even, it ain't even making sense. Yes. Nair, you a fool. She said, it's not our fault he couldn't handle being poked. That's what I'm saying. Tupac got shot 2 times. 50 Cent got shot 9 whole times. Your boy get hit with a damn a toenail clipper and he out the box. Your boy get hit with a toenail clipper. He's curtains. It's curtains for him. What little fragile chest ass? He shouldn't have been bucking all up like that. He be able to enjoy Thanksgiving and Christmas this year. Straight up, he would have been all right. He the one that chose to go the wrong path. Thought he was finna bully on old Mello. Old Mello, and you know what their biggest thing is in the chat? Let me see if I can show y'all this, man. This is crazy. The biggest thing
And
in the
imagine
chat
that.
for these people, right? The biggest thing in the chat for these people is they keep wanting to show y'all some damn devils. They is some devils for real. But hold on, let me see if I can show y'all some damn. I need to FBA on. I need to show you this chat, man. This chat is crazy. Let me see. Guilty as charged. Like, cause I'm over here battling with these folks. I'm like, I'm if you notice, it ain't a comment. Like, this is what they like to do. They be like, don't worry, Karmelo is gonna be coming out named Karmelo, I guess, after Buddha puts in his work. And you know what I put? That right here is what a gay person would say. Like, they got this weird homoerotic thing going on with Cuz, and I'm getting them every time. Look, this dude say, our Karmelo is squealing like Ned Beatty right now. I'm like, that's incredibly gay. I'm getting them every time. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see that. Let me look at these comments. He's like, that's all right. My cousin is in CO where Karmelo at, and he said he's getting his booty stretched nightly. He said that they make him yell, tap it, daddy. What's wrong with these dudes? What is wrong with these dudes, man? That's all they do is that's all they do is have bussy fantasies. Like, it's a picture of Jeff Metcalf being a devil, but what does that have to do with what somebody's supposed to be doing in jail with Karmelo? Right? And I'm talking about the comments just go on and on and on and on and on. And I'm clapping at all of them. Look, this person put this right here. I'm really good. This who was this Giordano Logan? He put this little picture or this GIF of a kid on the floor, you know, throwing a tantrum. So he's trying to say I'm throwing a tantrum because I made Jeff Metcalf a devil. Well, I said how kids act in your presence for 1,000, Alex. I'm quick. You can't get me. You can't get me. I'm talking about I can't even answer all of these comments like I really want to. Like I try, you know what I'm saying? I only got so much time in the day. Like this dude said, Watermelon Felon gets funnier and funnier every time I see it. And I was like, yeah, laugh out loud. I'm dead. I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. You can say what you want to say. Do what you want to do. Whatever you got to say, I got something to say back. Like this lady, she said, "Who had the knife?" And I said, oh, this one's funny, y'all. Oh, this one is really funny. Chris said, hold on. Chris said, this is hilarious, y'all. And I just got a foul, stupid ass mouth, so I just say anything. I really don't even care. But I'm trying to get to the. Chris said, he said he said, Chris, you sound. No. What did he say? It say to me. Hold on. I gotta make sure because it's so many of these that I be going in. I want to see what he said because what my response was killer diller. I said, because he gonna call himself trying to snap on me. I said nobody cares about proving anything to you guys. I'm not sure if you think black people wake up and try to prove something to you guys. F y'all. And I said facts, right? And so Chris goes and says, you sound uneducated or on snap. And I said, nah, I'm fresh off a throat marathon with your mom. I'm kind of delirious from that hurricane tongue of hers. She's good. I'm talking to him like that. I'm talking about your mama. I don't care. Somebody says something, and I was like, nah. I was like, nah, but I am teabagging. I said, I am teabagging my balls in their jaws like Dippin' Dots at an amusement park. I don't give a damn. I'm talking real spicy and real crazy, these people. That's my thing. Another triggered devil. But anyway, I got another video to come back with, man. I'm just showing y'all a little excerpt of the kind of things that I deal with. Look at this post. It got 3,000 comments and climbing. They really own that. And I don't give a damn. Look, I whatever post I'm on right now, they over here just mad as hell. Look, like this. You see this little gay stuff? Like, what is this? This is what I don't understand. Karmelo's back door just days after he starts serving his life sentence. Like, why do they think of stuff like that? What did I say to him? I said, super duper gay. Like, wow. Like, these dudes be out of control. It don't matter what post I go to too. Like they're at my throat no matter where else, no matter where I go. Look, I'm calling them mad crackers. Like they really hate this one. When I put this up, call them an angry little Dever, little wiener cracker. They be over there mad as hell. See, you got to clap back at these folks, man. You can't be letting these busters talk to you any old type of way. Look, he said, the funny part, everything you said is true and still doesn't justify the stabbing. I was like, it was, and he got what he deserved. And I put up this. Austin as a knife rack. I don't give a damn. I'm telling you. I'm going there with him. I think they steady trying to go back and forth with me. J Lava this and J Lava that and J Lava. J Lava. I don't care. Let me see. Yeah, it don't even matter, man. So I'm the one to do it, man. You know, y'all might not. I don't care. I'm going there with them. I don't care about these folks. They on every post too. It don't matter. Like this John. Oh, this one. Awesome. Oh man, this one about the roach dude. It is 40 million trillion quadrillion comments over here. I'm talking about meme wars all over. They is not trying to let they folks be seen in a certain light. It's just not happening. That one right there, that one really got them tight. But it's all good though. Look, I got another video to come back with, so I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm gonna fold you, and scold you about being on code. And you know, I got 4 words for you. I need you to go ahead and subscribe for the vibes, like for the spike in the algorithm, comment your vomit, share if you care about getting Black empowerment everywhere. Please do that on the platforms that we are on, Jones. And just to bring it all the way home, I got love, peace, blessings, and aloha. I'm out the Doha for show. I'll be right back. You already know.